Imagine a house the size of a football field, orbiting above your head. Not on a mountain, not in the clouds, but in space. Just 400 kilometers above Earth, traveling at a blistering 28,000 kilometers per hour. There is a home like no other, the International Space Station, or the ISS. It circles 16 times a day. That's 16 sunrises and sunsets in just 24 hours. It's so bright you can spot it with the naked eye. No telescopes needed. The ISS is not just a marvel of engineering. It's a floating laboratory, a collaboration of nations, a symbol of what humanity can achieve together. And now it is preparing for a new mission. On June the 10th, 2025, Axiom 4, a private astronaut mission, will launch aboard a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft, carrying out science experiments on muscle regeneration, algae growth, microorganism survival, and even how humans interact with screens in microgravity. So what exactly is the International Space Station? What secrets does it hold? What happens inside the flying home in the sky, and what will become of it in the future? Let's take a journey inside. The story of the ISS began decades ago. Its blueprint was drafted between late 1980s and the early 90s. The first module was launched in 1998, and over the next few years, it grew, piece by piece, like a cosmic jigsaw puzzle assembled through 48 flights and contributions from over a dozen countries. Here is a fun fact. Since November 2000, not a single day has passed without someone living aboard. Imagine this, over 24 years of human inhabitation and working in space. It's now larger than a 6-bedroom house with 6 sleeping quarters, 2 bathrooms, a gym, and even a panoramic 360-degree window, the famous Cupola. At any time, up to 8 spacecraft can dock. The space station can recycle 65% of its water thanks to a high-tech purification system. It's powered by over 50 computers and built with 8 miles of wiring, with a pressurized volume equal to a Boeing 747. In 24 years, over 280 astronauts from 23 countries have called it home, even celebrated birthdays, holidays, and even ran a marathon in space. And speaking of that, did you know that Sunita Williams was the first astronaut to do this in 2007 in 4 hours and 24 minutes running the Boston Marathon in space, and Tim Peake later completed the London Marathon while on the ISS in 2016. This marvel wasn't made by one country, it's run by a coalition: National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA from USA, Roscosmos from Russia, European Space Agency ESA from Europe, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency JAXA from Japan, and Canadian Space Agency CSA. So what's life like aboard a weightless home? Picture this: no up, no down. You float through the day, eating, sleeping, working. Even crying in microgravity is different. The ISS is split into 2 main areas: the Russian orbital segment and the US segment, which includes parts from Europe, Japan, and Canada. Propulsion, that's handled by Russian modules. Balance and orientation, controlled by American gyroscopes. Electricity flows in from giant solar arrays, generating up to 90 kilowatts. Air and water are recycled to make long-term space stays possible. Astronauts work hard, conducting science experiments, performing repairs during spacewalks, and coordinating with mission control centers in Houston, Moscow, Tokyo, Montreal, and Europe. And yes, they share their home with microbes, bacteria and fungi hitch rides too, helping researchers study everything from human health to disease and even space hygiene. This is not just science, it's survival training for life beyond Earth. Think of the ISS as a floating Lego city. Every module, every component fits together to form a perfectly balanced machine. Here is a guided tour. First up are solar arrays. These are giant panels that collect sunlight and power the entire station. They stretch like wings, collecting sunlight and converting it into electricity to power the entire station. It also has rollout solar arrays from NASA that provide additional power to augment the existing power supply. They roll up like a yoga mat and still pack in 20 plus kilowatts of energy, a 30% power boost. Another element in the space station is laboratory module. Europe's Columbus, Japanese Kibo, and US's Destiny Lab are where the magic happens. Columbus has 4 special mounting platforms on its outside where equipment can be attached for space science, watching Earth, and testing new technology. Columbus lets scientists on Earth, with the help from the astronauts on the station, do different kinds of experiments in zero gravity. Besides working inside, some experiments can also be done outside the lab in the vacuum of space. Kibo, Japanese for Hope, is a space research facility enabling astronauts to investigate a variety of space phenomena. Experiments range from biology, physics, technology, and more, and take place in Kibo's numerous research tracks. And US Destiny is the primary research laboratory for US payloads, supporting a range of experiments and studies contributing to health, safety, and quality of life. The ISS also has living modules with spaces like Harmony and Tranquility, where astronauts eat, sleep, and exercise. Harmony acts like a main hallway connecting different parts of the station, providing air, power, and water to other modules. Meanwhile, Tranquility is an extra room and is home to important life support systems that clean the air, make oxygen, and recycle water. It also houses a bathroom, a treadmill, and other exercise equipment to help astronauts stay healthy in space. A waste and hygiene compartment is also located here. Overall, Harmony and Tranquility can be called the heart of daily life, complete with toilets that suction waste, water systems that turn urine into drinking water, and exercise equipment to fight muscle loss. The ISS also has a storage module. The Italian Permanent Multipurpose Module and Russian Rasvet serve as the floating closets and cargo bays. Italian-built Permanent Multipurpose Storage Module can hold up to 16 racks of equipment, experiments, and supplies. It also has an end cone that has additional storage space for cargo bags and other items. Russia's Rasvet Mini Research Module is also used for cargo storage. The ISS also features docking modules. The docking ports, Russian Prichel and Poisk are special doors for spaceships to park. Prichel has 5 available docking ports to accommodate Russian spacecraft, while Poisk, also known as Mini Research Module 2, provides support for docking of Soyuz cruise ship and Progress cargo vehicles. Prichel means dock and Poisk means search in Russian. The ISS also consists of airlocks. Quest and Bishop airlocks on ISS are special compartments that let astronauts and equipment move safely between the inside of the station and the vacuum of space. The Quest airlock has 2 compartments, the equipment lock for suit maintenance and the crew lock for spacewalk exits. The space station has robotic helpers like Canadarm2 and Dexter for moving cargo and making repairs. Dexter, a robotic hand, replaces batteries, cameras, and other equipment outside the station. It's equipped with lights, video tools, and precision arms, reducing the need for spacewalks. It's controlled by teams at NASA and the Canadian Space Agency. Canadarm2, a 57.7-foot robotic arm from Canada, helped assemble the ISS. Its ends have hands called latching end effectors that grip objects or attach the arm to the station securely. Truss segments are the ISS backbone, long sturdy beams that run across the space station. Called the integrated truss structure, they support solar panels, radiators and external experiments. They hold power cables, cooling pipes and rails for the robotic arm. Labeled P for port, S for starboard and Z for zenith, they keep the station cool and structurally stable in space. The Cupola is an ultimate Earth viewer built by the European Space Agency. It acts like a control tower with windows. Attached to the Tranquility module, it has 7 windows, including the largest window ever flown in space. It offers astronauts a 360-degree view of Earth and beyond. Astronauts use it to operate the robotic arm, monitor spacewalks, and watch spacecraft come and go. Shutters protect the windows from debris and micrometeorites. There is even a cosmic detective on board the ISS, the Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer, searching for dark matter and antimatter by catching particles from space. Beam Expandable Module is a soft-sided inflatable habitat. It requires minimal payload volume on a rocket but expand after being deployed in space. They also provide a varying degree of protection from solar and cosmic radiation, space debris, atomic oxygen, ultraviolet radiation, and other elements of the space environment. Each element plays its part. Together, they make the ISS what it is: a laboratory, a spacecraft, and a sanctuary in the stars. The ISS is like a giant floating laboratory where astronauts and scientists explore everything from human health and new medicines to physics, biology, and technology that could shape our future. The International Space Station is home to thousands of experiments across many fields of science. Some experiments focus on how living things like plants, animals, and even human cells react to microgravity and space radiation. For example, scientists have studied how muscle and bone weaken in space, how plants grow without gravity, and how certain genes behave in space conditions. Other experiments look at materials and technology. These include testing new spacecraft materials, studying how flames behave without gravity, and developing better water purification systems. The ISS is also used to make new medicines and grow protein crystals that can help scientists develop drugs for diseases like cancer. There are also experiments to study Earth's atmosphere, climate, and natural disasters from space, as well as research into using lunar soil to make building materials for future moon bases. Over 3,000 scientific investigations from more than 100 countries have taken place aboard the ISS. The Cupola offers stunning views, perfect for photography and spotting auroras from above. The ISS is also a test bed for future exploration. Technologies developed here will help us travel to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. And with private companies like SpaceX and Axiom Space now sending astronauts and cargo, the ISS is paving the way for commercial spaceflight and new space stations. The legacy of ISS will live on in the discoveries made, the technologies developed, and the inspiration it provides to generations of explorers and dreamers. So what's next for ISS? As of now, NASA and its partners plan to keep the station running until at least 2030. After that, its fate is still being decided. Russia has announced that it will participate in the ISS until 2028 and plans to launch the first 2 modules of its own new space station in 2027. NASA is looking at commercial modules like those being developed by Axiom Space that could eventually take over as the next generation of orbital labs. When the time comes, the ISS will be carefully deorbited using a special NASA aircraft. NASA announced that SpaceX has been selected to develop and deliver the US deorbit vehicle that will provide the capability to deorbit the space station and ensure avoidance of risk to populated areas. Based on behavior observed during the re-entry of other large structures, NASA engineers expect breakup to occur as a sequence of 3 events: solar array and radiator separation first, followed by breakup and separation of intact modules and the truss segment, and finally, individual module fragmentation and loss of structural integrity of the truss. As the debris continues to re-enter the atmosphere, the external skin of the modules is expected to melt away and expose internal hardware to rapid heating and melting. Most station hardware is expected to burn up or vaporize during the intense heating associated with atmospheric re-entry, whereas some denser or heat-resistant components like truss sections are expected to survive re-entry and splash down within an uninhabited region of the ocean. In the coming years, we'll see new modules, more private missions, and even more groundbreaking research. The ISS will continue to inspire, educate, and serve as a stepping stone for humanity's journey into deep space. For over 2 decades, the International Space Station has floated silently above us, a testament to what's possible when science, vision, and humanity come together. It's more than a machine, it's a message that no matter how far we go further together. For more such interesting stories, keep watching Asianet News English.